You know us. It takes 2 or 3 times. Okay, here we are. We're only a few seconds late. It's fine. You know what we do here on Fear Street. Here we are back to talk about Chucky Season 2, Episode 2. And tonight we have Marco Estes from Midnight Distortion and the new group Scream Kings, which next time we have you on the regular show, we'll definitely have you talk about that. But we have so much to talk about in Chucky. We're going to but check them out on all the socials. Scream Kings, they're great.
Welcome back, Mark.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
This is a good episode titled "The Sinners Are Much More Fun," and it was lots of sinful thoughts last night. So let's just go and get into this one.
My first note goes to that. I've never connected more to an episode title. I've never seen an episode title be like, you know what? That is correct.
Yes.
Because when she was trying to connect the bully, I was like, I don't like bullies with religion. That don't ever end well.
Exactly. That goes to my thought process too, because that's a scary thing. And I'll explain it later when we get deep into the episode. But that's the scary thing when somebody uses that as a tool to be, get their point across and be evil. So,
well, yeah, I mean, let's get into it because that's a lot of what this episode was about. Now we're getting into like this new religious school. And I said, when Christianity is creepier than Chucky.
Hi, Jamie.
Hey, Jamie. Yes. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, Jamie.
But that's why Chucky started his own cult, because he was like, Christianity doing too much. How about I just start a cult and we worship me and it'll be fine and safer.
Okay. Now, you say that. See, I don't trust any of these, like, the people that I don't trust Devin Sawa, even though he's sexy. He's sexier than any priest deserves to be or should be. But Chucky started a cult. I think all these people are like in on it. I don't trust.
Let's talk about Father Sawa real quick because we just got to get out of the way. Can we talk about how I was not ready? I was like, I thought this was a family show. Like, send these kids to bed. Send these kids to bed. What are we doing on USA?
I mean, I think that's probably the only time I paid attention to any type of sermon. Any sermon in my entire life, just be sitting like, yes, say more.
Yes, Lord.
I would go to that church. Like, I would. I'm not going to lie to you.
I mean, if you've listened to our episode on The Exorcist, you know that I have a deep. I find liking priests and past, any kind of religious leader. I find that being very kind of conflicting for me. I'm like, God, I want to the things I would do to you, but you're a priest, and I don't know. It's a lot of things.
Listen, I also appreciate how his first 3 or 4 speeches was about sin and sex. Like, that's all he was talking about. Because I was like, am I making this up? Am I just in a place? When I really watched, no, that's dialogue.
Exactly. And it's funny because they were always... Yeah, and it was funny because they was like, Lexi was like, I hate sports metaphoric speeches, and then Devin's like, oh, I love them. I'm like, there's Devin. Devin's me. Devin's like, when you sit there and start using shit, like, okay, we see what you're talking about, pastor or reverend, whatever you want to call yourself tonight. But yeah.
Listen, Devin was the VIP this episode from the Children's League. His thank you after she's like, you're underweight, like that just
exactly.
I love that line that was like, you look like Madonna, not the good one. And I assume she's meaning like the 80s Madonna versus modern Madonna. That's what I took it as.
The material girl, yeah.
That's how we're supposed to take it as. We're not supposed to be, but no, Devin was also my favorite tonight because he's open to his queerness, but he was sat there realized that, we gonna be rooming together. I'm like, that's what my thought would have probably went to too. Like, we rooming together, we fine. And then
because Devin Sawa's character is so clueless. Like, he's like, don't go philandering with the girls, and Devin's like, don't worry.
You ain't gotta worry about that. And Lexi co-signed in the room with Nadine, with the sister. Oh, you ain't gotta worry about Jake and Devin. They're fine. I'm like, yes, everybody's on the same page.
Like, I'm happy right about Nadine? Because Twitter was like, "Is this a couple? Are they about to be lesbians? Do we get couple vibes from these two yet?"
I mean, it would be an interesting. I'm here for a queer Lexi. Let's do it.
She might. I don't know. It's just it'd be funny because Nadine has already won my heart. She just like knows she's hip to the game, but she's trying to play the fence. Like, I'm a good girl, except that I'm not. Right? Or I have secrets. What are yours? It's like, and then when she actually finds out about Chucky, it's like, oh, okay, she down with the cause.
She just goes with it. She's waiting. Like, that's right.
Let's do it. And but then she was like, I'm sorry, I stole him last night. I'm like, okay, of course it would be you to sit there and bring him to y'all's room. Of course it would be you. But I think that if not a queer relationship, she'll probably be maybe Lexi's little surrogate sister or something like that. But I'm open up to all that too. You know what I'm saying? Lexi probably helped Lexi get off them damn drugs she's on, which I'm upset about. But
Lexi girl.
But Lexi's drugs this time, I'm not gonna lie, I'm always shitting on Lexi, but anybody who can smuggle in that much drugs into a nunnery, I want to travel with. I see her value now.
Right. I'm like, how did they check her bag?
And I love that when she
in there.
I love when the nun told her that she had to straighten her hair. She says comb her hair. And she brush it out. And she comes out, that shit is straight like Cher. Like, I said, did you bring a straightener to this bitch?
I was like, what is that? What?
It even looks like she might have added some extensions.
Did y'all not see her bags?
No.
Her bags. Her bags.
I've seen the priest. I'm getting it together.
But one thing I am
like she came like dolled up.
For real. One thing I really am excited, especially if they explore a possible queerness within Lexi, is this. It seems like there's going to be, and I think Mark, you may have a note on this. It seems like there's going to be a theme of queer church trauma.
Yes,
which we all have dealt with it in some form or fashion. I mean, not we all. I have,
Me too.
And so it's something I think a lot of queer people have, especially in this Christian country. For those of you listening, I did quotation marks. But so I'm excited to see where they take that, and and it's interesting. In this episode, we get two very clear perspectives on that, where it's like Devin, who I love, is very much like, fuck them all. I am who I am. Take me or leave me. And Jake seems a little more traumatized by it, which makes sense because of what we've seen from Devin or from Jake's past with Jake's father. And it seems like Devin's mother, even though I don't think he never really told her. Correct me if I'm wrong.
She's dead forever.
And she's dead now, but but she seemed to be more supportive of Devin than Jake's father was of him.
Oh yes, which was a loss for me because when he lost his mom, because he did end up telling her before she died. I think it was the same episode.
Yes.
Which made it even worse because she was like, I don't care about if you like the boy. I just don't want you nowhere near him because he's dangerous. His bodies are dropping near him. That's what I'm more worried about. You know what I'm saying?
Valid.
I mean, that's a valid point. That's a valid point.
When the bodies stop dropping, have him over for tea. What?
Yes.
I like that you picked up on what's going on with Jake because last week I had to know that we're getting to figure out Jake is still not healing and not working on things because why would your foster family get you therapy? This is America. And so I like that note wasn't just like a throwaway note or a couple of throwaway lines because in this one he's definitely having his anxiety moments and he's definitely like, I'm guilty. I did it. If I hadn't gotten Chucky, I'm like, you don't have time for guilt, baby. Also, get a therapist. What?
And so I'm happy
but I'm happy to see that because a lot of final kids don't ever deal with their trauma and we just keep seeing them over and over and over. And I'm like, if someone tries to kill you, especially a toy, you're gonna need to talk about that. What?
Exactly. I was like, I just so glad to see him actually take that, and just have that moment to just be like, I'm second guessing everything. I have to make sure to know how to move in this new environment. It's totally different when we was out, in school, and I was staying with my family and stuff like that. I knew the barriers and the lines to cross and whatnot. But here it's a whole new ball game. This religious setting is going to be very constricting for all three of us, because in the school's eyes, they are like the unholy trinity, because they got bodies dropping around them. If they know about the two, about Jake and Devin, that's another thing. Then you got Lexi, who is got a reputation already because she thinking that she knows all about Trevor, which I get to in a minute, but he has tea on her. And it's like, you have to watch your step in this new environment. And so Jake is just like, y'all, we need to chill.
Yes.
Chill.
Jake is very much about survival, and Devin, and specifically Devin, and kind of Lexi too, are more about thriving. Like they want to they want to be their full authentic selves. And Jake's like, y'all, look, I've been through this. I've been in this kind of constrictive environment where I have to watch my P's and Q's and watch everything I say and do and what I like and what I don't like. And, like many of us who grew up in the South and are queer had to do. And so I love that they're both of those, because both of those reactions are valid, and I think I love that they're both kind of all, three of them are coming at it from a different angle.
Yeah. I also appreciate that, because we don't have enough abused kids on TV who actually deal with it. We don't see the fallout. They're just like, my parents smacked me in this last scene, but I'm good now. Let's do a song and dance. And Jake's like, no, I was abused. We don't talk about it because Chucky trying to kill us. I need y'all to know.
You heard it here first. Sharai wants more abused kids on television.
Realism.
No, but I totally get what you mean, though. It's nice to see finally realistic, or somewhat real. I mean, let's be real. It's still a TV show. It is still dramatized, but somewhat realistic depictions of healing or trying to heal from your trauma.
Or not even having the time to heal, which is very valid. And for those of us in this pandemic who don't have time to fucking heal. Yes. And so, because I don't think he even understands. And who does at that age? Who does? You don't have the vocabulary. You can't be like, I think my anxiety is triggered by this. That is not who you are. And so after you've gone to some counselors, some therapists, you've lit some sage, you pulled some cards. It's a whole process. What?
Like that scene that you mentioned earlier, Sharai, when he it's right after the sexy Devin Sawa leaves the room, and Jake just kind of breaks down, and Devin's there to kind of help him pick himself. And I love that Jake has Devin there to help him in those moments. Right. That he's going to need it moving forward, I'm sure. Yeah. But just watching him completely break down was a beautiful acting moment from a young actor.
Right. Another thing I appreciate about Jake and Father O'Malley. Another thing I preach about Jake and Father O'Malley, or Father Sawa, wherever we're calling him right now today in this moment, is
Father Sexy.
Listen, originally when they were like, Devin Sawa's going to play a priest, I'm like, of course he is. But now I'm just like, but also because Jake did have a weird father relationship, and then his uncle, who was his father's twin, also died. And so I think that he's definitely the one who's going to be like, but what about this religion a little bit? Because he wants to feel that connection with someone, because again, this kid's been an orphan longer than anybody. And I think that father, because his speech after he almost gets him killed by Chucky, he's all like, you have to pick and choose. You could be a son now, and you have to choose the right father. And yeah, I'm all like, that's dirty. But also, I'm like, for this child.
Out of Sheray's head, into the child. I
was watching different episodes last night because I was like, everything's dirty. And I was like, but also the children are still awake. But also that's dirty. And so double entendres on double entendres.
For real.
Yeah.
And it does seem that Father Sexy is seems to be in the hierarchy or the faculty part of this school church. He seems to be the quote unquote cool one, the one that tries to. Well, no, there's that other teacher. There's
the black nun.
Black nun who I'm scared for, but go ahead.
Right. Because I was like, we got two.
Exactly. I was like, and she was too cool, super cool.
She's too nice to him. She's too nice to him.
I'm like, oh my God.
I mean, I hate to say that, but like it's true.
And she was not one of the two that were vying for Father Sawa's attention. Because the other two were like, I did this. You don't need to do that yet. Thank you for doing this, sister, whatever the fuck.
Exactly. And this is something with sisters or nuns, because they kind of did something similar to in American Horror Story Asylum, like when Monsignor and everybody's like, oh, Monsignor. I'm like, oh, y'all need to chill. That's what y'all problem is. This is why I don't trust any of y'all, because behind those habits and those what you call them things?
Collars.
Collars.
Yeah, they're habit. It's all habit. It is.
It's all a habit. No, now that we have been like locked away for so long, because again, it's hard to like go out and about like we used to, because Kovisha out there. I can sort of sympathize with these nuns, because like if a man walks through, I'm just like art.
Koshermos at this point. Let's be real.
Oh my God,
she ain't going nowhere.
But yeah, it's conveniently keeping me at home.
And I mean, to be fair, if I'm a nun and my priest is, I don't remember who plays it in AHS that season. He's probably sexy too. Let's be real.
We have a lot of sexy fathers walking around on TV right now, and I don't know what we all need to unpack. But damn,
but I would also be like, how can I help you, Father?
Listen.
In that tone, in that cadence, let them know.
Father.
Anything, Father.
Let him know. You got to put it out.
Let him know.
You have to. While we're still talking about Father Sexy, which I figured we would, the idle hands reference killed Twitter. Like there's always references, but the idle hands coming from Father Sawa. I lost 5 minutes of the show because I was like, nah, and I was in group kids. What?
I hate I missed that when because I love tweeting live on stuff like this, event TV like this, and I was at work and I was like, I bet you Twitter is like having a field day tonight on something. And I mean, I'm not trying to deviate, but wasn't yesterday also the date the Megan trailer dropped?
Oh, it dropped the day before, but her and Chucky been fighting for 2 days.
They've been fighting. Thank you. I was like,
no, the PR. Yeah,
it's amazing. And yeah, so I was like, somebody's going to say something to bring that up, and I'm not a part of that. But yeah, that was genius on Don's part. The way that Devin delivered the line is just like very tongue-in-cheek, and everybody, can you imagine being in the theater when it happened? Everybody would have lost their shit.
Right. and I will say, and I think we say this every season, every time we talk about him, but Don Mancini is just fantastic. I mean, fabulous, fantastic, the best, the greatest, one of the greatest. I love him.
Now, if you want to talk about Father Sexy, that's my. I love me some Don Mancini. Oh, God.
Honey, yes. Come to my window.
I was just like, Ryder's supposed to have muscles. Sit down, Mr. Mancini. We go to the gym. Another thing, because I was like looking at Mancini's Twitter today, and apparently there was a Poltergeist reference, and I thought so, but I didn't want to get my hopes up too much. But when Jennifer Tilly says they're here in front of the window, that's
yeah, that's true. Let's love it.
I was like, is it? No. And then Mancini was like, I had a Poltergeist reference to you fools, and I was like, oh my God, it was. I should have said something. What?
Jennifer Tilly's voice is just perfect to do that too.
Speaking of perfection, the J. Tilly train drove through last night.
Let's get into it. J. Tilly, Jennifer Tilly, Miss Tilly, Mrs. Tilly, the greatest Tilly that ever Tillied. She's just what can you say?
Miss Tilly, if you nasty. What?
Yeah. She murdered a detective in the middle of her foyer.
He had it coming.
But what killed me was her intro into the season, because she wakes up in what's the word I'm looking for? Jennifer Tilly fashion, or Tiffany Valentine fashion. Like, life is, and she sees her hand is bloody, and she sits there, just has this freak out, and I'm like, honey, you done made more messes than that. But I guess because she's like, I don't remember doing this. Did I get possessed by Chucky too last night? Is he inside me? And then she sits there, and you see that Tiffany doll head. I was like, oh my God.
Right. Which,
oh my god,
The Godfather. I mean, there you go, references.
Exactly.
So many references. I also think that when she killed the cop and threw the body in the closet, it might have been a callback to Seed of Chucky, especially because Glenn and Glenda were showing up. Because like in that one, Chucky like opens the closet, a body falls out, and he's all like, "Well."
Yeah.
No, like Jay Tilly for the win. Like everything she did, perfect, flawless. Give her an award. Yeah.
And the fact that she went through, I said this in my notes. The fact that she went through $100 million of Jennifer Tilly's money, I said that is top tier Tiffany Valentine. Somebody that used to having a lot of stuff, and she's just like, "Oh, I have access to all of this now." Yes, and then Nika saying, "Yo, you need to go get a job." At that point in time, I didn't know if that was actually Nika or if that was Chucky talking to her, because
we don't ever know. We don't know if it's either Nika, Nico, Chucky, Chucko, Chucky Yoko. You never know.
I have never seen a show where actors play so many characters in my life, because like even on soap operas, people were like, "Now you got a twin, now you got a triplet." It's not like this. It's not like this at all. Like,
right. The only one I can think of. The only one I can think of, which is a very different kind of television show, is Orphan Black. And
she did play 90 people.
Two very fantastic performances.
Yeah, but I just never seen a show where this many actors get to play multiple characters.
Right, there's only one, right? There's only one in that one.
In one scene.
Listen. Like one of the tweets that I almost used tonight was talking about how this is iconic. Jennifer Tilly is playing Tiffany Valentine in Jennifer Tilly's body. Watching Jennifer Tilly in Liar Liar.
I don't know if either of you saw this, but they did 2 promo things on Sci-Fi before the season started. And one of them was Jay Tilly giving a tour of her home as Tiffany, as Jennifer Tilly, and they were having like the set designer walk with her, and she was like, "No, I made this decision," and he was like, "No, I did." She was like, "No, I did." And it's like, "Get the fuck out of my house." It was so good.
I meant to look up the house. I've seen it in something, and I know it had to be something else horror related. So that's another reference that is looking me in the face, and I can't remember. But I know I've seen it. People have gotten stabbed in that yard. People have gotten stabbed in that house. What? And I know it.
I know it.
But I have to research that too, because it did look familiar. It did look very familiar to me.
Right? And I was like, how do I find Tiffany Valentine's mansion? Like, I need to know. But like, Jay Tilly and Fiona came in swinging as usual, and it came in swinging in the second episode, which I feel I love, because it waited so long last season. And like they are now half the franchise. It's them and Chucky. It will be forever and always. Amen. Send us home, Father Osawa. Look.
When she walked into that room and I saw Nico in that pink fucking frilly princess outfit, she's so mad about it. She hates it. You know she hates it.
She's a lot of things right now.
And she ain't got no legs or no arms, the poor thing.
It reminded me of that movie back in the day called Boxing Helena with Julian Sands and what's her name? Sherilyn Fenn.
Yes.
And I was like, I was confused watching that movie. Like, now, so how's he, how she mobilized, how she's moving, and like, I'm like, how did this happen? How's it though? But it just seems so, I don't say erotic, but just seemed kind of like something David Lynch would probably do. You know what I'm saying? And also, I was just gonna say that I love Fiona's hair tonight on the episode.
Yes.
Just beautiful. It wasn't the frizzy, crazy thing going on last year. It was just like Tiffany really dolled up Nika. That she's a doll.
Yep.
She's Tiffany's doll.
That's what I was gonna say.
She's Tiffany's doll.
She dressing her up. She getting her hair together. She's posing her where she want to pose her, leaving her where she want to leave her. That is her doll. That is her doll.
Tiffany's dollhouse.
The scene when she's talking to herself as Chucky, masterful. So good. I mean, Fiona is just so good. So good.
She should have won a award last season. Like, how many other people play a version of their dad from a movie that was around?
Oh my god.
With their dad as like also in the series. Like
Listen,
it's great.
listen. And her.
she I don't know, it's just her plans, because I didn't get a chance to do the show last year, but her doing her dad as a young Charles Lee Ray and passing as Brad Dourif in his probably youngest in his youth, because it took me a minute to realize that was her. I'm like, oh my God, that is not a computer generated face, that is his daughter.
Listen. And it was confusing because she was hot as her dad. So like she put on her dad drag and could still get it at the bar. And I was like, what are we doing now? I don't know. I was like, she brought dad drag to the main stage. And we were like, yeah.
And that was Don's idea, wasn't it? That was Don Mancini's idea, wasn't it? And it's just like, that alone should have got her an Emmy nomination. But you know, the Emmy's so stuffy. Like, we're not going to sit there and we would never give something like Chucky a nomination. We might give them some nomination in makeup, but never on an acting scale. Like, oh, bitch, please. I'm sorry.
Which is also frustrating because they do separate comedies and dramas. So, like, I can see why you're not going to give Chucky best lead actress in a drama, in a dramatic series. Because, I mean, it's just not. But a comedy, 1,000%, you could put this in there.
And she's a guest star, so she's not like a main cast member, so they can easily slide her into the guest slot or, you know, recurring character role or something like that, because she's just amazing. And I'm so glad that she's getting a chance to shine here, and she's loving everything she's doing. You know, everything they give her, she's like, let's do it. You know, let's do it.
Yes. And also the scene where Tiffany is talking to the detective, and she's like, "Oh, Nika, no, I don't know her." So good.
And you can actually see the doll doing that scene too, like, "Oh, Nika, I don't know her."
And then when he comes back and he's like, "Ma'am, I know you've seen her." She's like, "Oh, that Nika. Here, actually."
Me personally, I would have ran.
They gave J. Tilly 4 looks in this show last night. And each one was a different mood, and I just love that too. Like, each one was a different mood, but like it was perfect, and it was phenomenal, and it was camp, and it was who I expect Jennifer Tilly to bring to all these incarnations of Tiffany / J. Tilly. And I lived. Her with the cigarette on the couch and the glare.
So good.
That scene of her on this scene right there, was that a reference to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Leonardo DiCaprio's the meme with him snapping at the TV.
It might be, because I had never seen the movie, but I seen that gif. But yeah, I guess I love that for her, because again, so many reference on references, and that's something Tiffany would do, is watch Jennifer Tilly act before she got a hold of the body, because they're not acting anymore for obvious reasons.
Nika, I don't know her.
I also just love that they went for liar, liar out of J. Tilly's entire resume. They went for liar, liar. And that also just because she got a resume. I just looked at it like a few weeks ago for her birthday. I was like, there are movies on movies on movies. They're like, you know what? Get the Jim Carrey out here.
I completely forgot she was in that movie. I actually thought they was watching like a dramatization of The Bride of Chucky or something like that for the because you know they said they saw Bride of Chucky last week. So I thought that she was actually watching their version of Bride of Chucky, because she says about custody of kids, and I'm like, wait, Chucky and Chucky and Tiffany had a divorce, and they talked about that's how they brought in Glenn and Glenn. I don't know.
Listen, I would have just gone with it, because I never know where we're going, but I know I'm gonna like when we get there. I ask less questions now.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it just cracked me up was liar, liar, because again, like, we have so much J. Tilly out there, and they were like, liar, liar. That's the one.
And it fits in the like you said, the movie fits with the episode's theme, because everybody got all these lies, or they just trying to hide stuff, and it's just like liar, liar. And so, especially with the main trio trying to hide their past from the other kids at school and the staff, but everybody knows. It's like, we know what y'all are about. It's just Because as soon as Devin saw when Father Sawa sat there and told them, I know what you guys are thinking. It's just a doll. I'm like, oh, he got the whole tea on y'all then. So he's toying with y'all. And so I was like, yeah, that's another layer that was something Jake didn't expect. Oh, another three expected. Like, oh, he knows. And it's like,
There's also something weirdly lovable about this character who's so out of the loop with his glasses, because he's all like, I know you youngsters, yes, your hormones are into the opposite sex. And they're just like, what is he even talking about? Like, and he's like, you need to read this Bible and find a passage and we'll bond over that because this doll is not going to kill you. He comes back and I'm just like, he's like a camp counselor, but like not the weird kind. He's the cool kind,
I also love the scene after the nun dies. And they see Chucky in the room, and they're like, "Oh, maybe he's not." And he just like comes to life. And he goes,
and then goes back down. I say he ain't shit. Chucky ain't shit.
That's not Charles Lee Ray.
I think Devin and Jake are in Chucky's room, in Charles Lee Ray's room.
Probably.
Oh.
This is the house he grew up in, or the home that he grew up in.
There's secrets in his home.
And they're kind of in that weird kind of attic-y looking, there's different like segments to their room or whatever. I think that's Charles Lee Ray's room. And I think they're going to find out at some point.
And because Nadine is a redhead, I don't trust her. Just saying.
She could be another.
Maybe she's a rat.
Exactly. Like, that's why I was saying, what's up with her? Because I'm like, she immediately she's immediately drawn to all three of them. Like, oh, what's your story? I'm like, girl, you coming on a little too strong right now. Like,
when she stole the good stuff and put it under the bed and it was Chucky.
At one point I thought she might be Glenn or Glenda in disguise, but I don't think she is. But she could be. I don't know. She could be. Maybe there's a new. Maybe they split themselves into three now.
I'm gonna say they probably jumping bodies now.
Listen, Chucky and 9 different people, and Tiffany's in a couple. Why not? One of the things I'm loving about this season is we're getting multiple deaths in episode, because last season we would get one, but it would be an event. This time we're just like, let's just kill some people because, and I'm just like, yes, thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I like that there's multiple. I do have thoughts on one of them. We'll get to that though.
I also love that one of these two this time around, it was Jay Tilly, because we've not seen her use her knife in a minute, and it's part of the Tiffany package. Yeah, good lipstick, good bra, good stabbing. That's the Holy Trinity. Yeah.
What more do you need?
Maybe it's Maybelline.
I will say that was. Yeah. I will say that I was shocked at
You froze. That's the fun about doing things live.
Okay.
You're back.
Am I back now? Okay.
Yeah.
I was just saying that I was just shocked, I guess, because I thought that he was going to be a nuisance for her for a couple more episodes. She's popping up and trying to suss stuff out, but she was like, nope, I learned my lesson the last time. I'm gonna take care of him right now.
Something tells me with killing a detective, it's not gonna be the last detective that shows up on Tiffany's doorstep.
No, it won't be the first or the last. What I love is we get to see Jennifer Tilly in her 60s still stabbing people and serving cleavage, like
and looking good.
I want that bra. I deserve that bra. My back hurts. Like, if anybody's watching, I'm going to start to go find me when I find out the brand. Just like, open your wallet, don't ask questions. Look.
Yes. Love it.
Yeah, I just think that all the adults are just as scary as Chucky is. It's just even that includes Tiffany, and like I said in my notes, I feel like they're all in the same spectrum. It's just that you can see it coming with Tiffany and Chucky though, but with Father Sawa and the other nuns, and everybody's. It's like all the adults. Even last week's episode, the adults were kind of like evil. You know, like look at Lexi's mom. She's not likable. I mean,
she never been likable.
She's supposed to be unlikable, and then you get the therapist, and then the guy who came and said, "Yeah, we're sending you to the school," and all. Everybody's like, the adults are against our protagonist, and it's just like now they added another layer with it with religion. And like I said earlier, there's nothing scarier than somebody who uses religion to like be sadistic and malicious. There's a lot of it in Stephen King's work. You know, the grandmother in Flowers in the Attic. I think it was my first introduction to it, her throwing out those Bible quotes while she was doing horrendous stuff to them. It was like, I told my mom and dad then, I don't like church. I know y'all want me to go, but I just don't feel right going because it seems like.
I mean, yeah, even in the real world. I mean, at our last school board, a pastor stood up and said in front of everyone, and no one stopped him, that all LGBTQIA people are against God and self-centered and deserve death. Direct quote.
Oh my God.
A pastor.
Sounds Southern to me.
So, yeah, no, definitely. And like, especially like Trevor, when Lexi approaches him and she's like, because she's trying to like one-up him before he even gets a chance to come at her, which is smart, the girl. But then he's like, well, actually, I'm Christian now, and I'm so pious, and doing it. It's very like backhanded, but you know what he's saying. You know what I mean? And so I was like, ooh, this just feels like 8th grade all over again.
Exactly.
I don't hate you. I just hate your sin.
I hate everybody. Let us get to our tops and our bottoms of this week.
Let's do it.
Mark, take us away with your top and your bottom.
Well, my top was seeing Jake, we said earlier, deal with his trauma and it affected him to the point that he's making brash decisions. We rarely see a final boy, well, since Tommy Jarvis and Ash Williams deal with their trauma. But it's good to see that there's some type of, soul there, like they're not moving on from it, like, oh, well, we're going to be ignorant, blissfully ignorant about what's going on around us. It's like, no, they're very cautious about everything that's going on. My bottom, we just talked about it, is Trevor and his unholy trinity, because they about to be a whole ass mess, because like you were just saying a few minutes ago, how he was doing the whole I'm this, and then each of them was jumping in with their own little jabs. Like, y'all need to know your place. Like, we're the original unholy trinity, and you guys are like not on our level right now. So just stay in your place, and we won't screw you over. We won't drag you through this entire school. Okay, now go have lunch.
Listen. The mean girls are about the mean girl.
The mean girl and 2 boys.
What's the meanest girls? What are your tops and bottoms, Trent?
My top, I didn't mention this specific line earlier, but I did talk about the 2 nuns. The nun says that she saw Jesus in the face of Chucky.
I screamed, Trent. I screamed.
And then the other nun says, didn't you just see his face in a piece of cheese last week? I laughed so hard. And then my bottom, I was just kind of bored by the nun who had a heart attack. I get it. I get why structurally in the script. And I had to search for, like, in this life, I had to search for a bottom. But
double entendre.
But because I really liked everything about this episode, I was just a little bored by the nun's death. I was like, Chucky would have done something different, but I also understand why he wouldn't, because he doesn't want to be found yet.
Plus, he's killed hundreds of people in so many different ways. It's about time one of them was like more quiet. He was like, the work's done for me.
Yeah, it was really funny how he was like, and she started like dying. He's like, are you having a heart attack?
Right.
Okay.
He's like, you saw me, you're that scared? Thank you.
Thank you. Now, he did kill somebody else previously with a heart attack. Remember a Child's Play 3 when the old general came in and he was like, are you fucking kidding me? Bobby, Bobby, I'm gonna text you. Let me text you right now and tell you to
you
stop.
messy queen.
Very messy.
Bobby coming in with bottoms are easy to find nowadays.
Maybe where you're at, I'm just kidding. They're easy to find here if you want to find them. They're a little messy, but they're here.
Bobby also brought up Child's Play 3. I need to rewatch that one. I just rewatched the first one today, so I should go ahead and
finish it. It's been forever since that's the one I don't know the least. Like I've seen 1 and 2 a lot, and I've seen Bride Forward a lot.
I saw it last year like twice, and that was a different decade in my brain. My top is Devon Sawa, Jay Tilly, and Fiona. The adults are my top because it feels like we're all here now, so we can actually get the party started. Because last week was good. I'm not saying last week was not good, but like I was like, I want to see the adults, and they were like, here they are, bitch. Stop asking questions. Like, thank you. So those 3 adults are my tops. I needed 3 tops this week because it's a weekend. My bottom.
You waited until I took that drink. You waited.
What? No. My bottom. My bottom is having to wait another week to actually get time with Glenn and Glenda. So I have 2 bottoms and 3 tops. So yeah. And
yeah, I'm excited.
Yes, Bobby. Yes.
Oh yeah.
I saw that collar and I was like, that's a top. And I went on my day. Look.
Devon's always a top. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And I'm not complaining.
Let him play all the characters. We can have a season where he plays everybody. Like
one-man TV show. Have they done that before? Let's do it.
Let's do it. No,
Let's do it.
I remember at the end of last season when we were doing any so I was like, I hope he comes back and they can have a triplet. I don't care. And they were like, how about he making a priest instead and have some father jokes? I'm like, that works too.
I love that Don Mancini does this because like he did it last season with Lexi's dad was also in either Cult or one of the latest 2.
I think he was a doctor in Cult. I'm pretty sure he was a doctor in Cult that died.
He was.
And so he loves to reuse actors in multi and let them play different characters, which I love because like the doctor that he is in Cult is very different than the father that he played in season 1.
It makes me wonder who else we're gonna see, or if we've already seen them and just don't remember them because it's been 6 movies, 7 movies, and so you don't remember all those faces.
Right.
For all you know, like we stared at you and there was a lead in one of them, and you're like, oh. But I'm gonna get us the tweet of the week.
Yes, what is our tweet of the week, Sharai?
The tweet of the week comes from @BJ Colangelo. I've been friends with this person for at least 2 years and never asked about the last name because I'm great. But I know this person, amazing person, definitely follow. I did not pronounce that correctly. I'm sorry. But the tweet was, everyone watching Chucky when Devon Sawa said idle hands with the gif of Leo snapping and leaning towards the TV, which is the gif that you saw Jay Tilly doing that.
Yes,
because it was all of us. That's like my phone blew up. You would have thought that I had done something. Like everybody watching was like, "You see it? Idle hands." Even Devon Sawa was like, "I think people wouldn't really care about it that much." Like, we know your resume, good sir. Shut up.
Yeah, he clearly underestimates his sex appeal, which makes him sexier.
Listen.
You know, when he posted that gray sweatpant pic.
We need to go ahead and end
this. What?
Oh, you go through his Twitter feed, honey. He got a gray sweatpant pic, and it's real nice.
Okay.
His face is a gorgeous thing.
So thank you, Mark, for joining us. Thank you for everyone listening. Next week or next on our regular episode on Monday, we're covering The Omen with Stan the Mechanic.
Ooh. It's a good time because Stan is my favorite mechanic. I don't even have a car, but I see him regularly.
What do you see him for? Sure, man. And when I find it, I will send it your way, Bobby.
But yeah, we will see y'all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Keep those tweets tweeting because I'm a nosy bitch and I spend all day Thursdays looking for funny tweets. This could be. Last week was a friend of cats from Girl That's Scary.
Boom. You never know. Could be you next week.
Listen.
Could be you. All right, y'all. Again, thank you, Mark, and thank you everyone for listening and watching. praying, tweeting, twatting, everything. And as always, make sure you stay fierce out there.
Bye. Keep those hands busy.
It's still going. We're still going. We're still
Why
going.
won't you stop?
We're still going.
Listen.
We're all in this.
We're being held hostage on our own broadcast.
An error occurred.
Oh my God.
They don't want us to end.
Listen,
StreamYards, if you're not done, bitches,
I'm
we need to hear
opening
about
the beer.
Devin Sawa some more.
Listen.
Let's try again.
It's vampy. Okay.
Here we go.
I'm going to just open up the beer. We'll just start drinking.
Well, Sharai, you may have to do it. It's still not letting me do it.
I just tried it, and it's looking at me like I did something stupid.